The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at HomeDepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what are you guys up to?
Oh, little weed, you know.
It's the Weedsman Podcast Nugget.
Zippity what?
Ready to drop the bass? Let's drop the bass.
Whoop-de-doo. What does it all mean?
All the random stuff that didn't fit in Friday's show, you'll find here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man. You got a joint?
Got a little bit of reef rice along on your boy?
What that mean?
Please, just give me like weed, all right?
Skype just does, Skype.
Yeah, we're dinosaurs. We had to figure out Zoom or something else. Because talking with my aunt today, because she's one of those companies that was told you can work at home forever.
Yeah.
She's talking about how nobody uses Skype anymore. It's like, oh, well, I do every week.
Well, the thing, so Skype got bought out by Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
Or did they start it?
No, they bought it because at work 3 or 4 years ago, we were trying to do everything on Skype for business, and then all of a sudden 2 years ago, everything went to Teams.
Yeah, we did the same thing last year. About this time last year, they were like, get rid of Skype, no more Skype for business, go through Teams. It seems like the same kind of setup, just a different user interface.
Yeah, different skin.
Doesn't, same quality, which, as much as we complain about it, it's caused troubles here and there. And every time something fails in the studio, it's usually, has something to do with it. And yet, 8%, 99% of the time, it just works.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, it's been a trooper for 6 years?
Yeah. And even considering when we first started using it, and we would deal with, the occasional drags and audio dropouts and mismatches and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that's improved considerably. Probably a lot of that has to do with bandwidth increasing. But, as much as I bitch about it, it's been a stalwart product, and it's been a godsend for us doing this, especially now in a time where there's, one more major obstacle to us doing these on a regular basis, face-to-face.
Yeah.
But I don't get why is everyone flipping their lid over Zoom like it's something different? I'm like, why we could do this through Teams, through Skype?
Yeah, I don't know why Zoom was the chosen one for the pandemic. Is it because it's easy to use?
I guess. I mean, lucky them.
Yeah, if you had stock in, or if you had any piece of Zoom or Microsoft Teams this year, you win.
Yeah, I do. Even though I went to an office prior to the pandemic on a work daily basis, I still did all my work remotely, and often when I had to meet with my bosses, it was over Teams, and not even video. There was no point in doing video. We're doing audio calls, and because we're usually sharing stuff on the screens anyway.
Yeah,
we're not interested in seeing each other's beards.
That's true.
Though I did have, there was one woman who I don't work with often, and I don't think has been doing a lot of work for home or remote work, rather even prior to this, and she was doing video on a recent call, and she was the only one. And I'm like, I'd like to turn my video on just to be courteous. I feel like does it feel rude to be like, no, I'm not doing video when everyone else is? Like, that's kind of how I felt. But I was also like, I am completely unprepared for having anyone see what I look like right now.
Yeah.
Not to mention I was like completely unprepared for the meeting anyway, because I didn't get an advance notice for some reason. I got the 15-minute, we have a meeting coming up in 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, fuck. Load.
Yeah, I mean they've gone as far as to say our dress code applies when we're on video chats.
Yes.
So, but at the same time, we also
what they can see.
Well, yeah, it's true. But we also get a heads up if it's going to be a video conference. Like, hey, this one's going to be video, so we can shave, put on a work shirt, all that crap. But other than that, I mean, yeah, I'm not interested in seeing your face. Like, trust me, I'm that guy too. Like, do we really got a video? Like, the whole point's to hear each other, right?
Yeah. If I was constantly facing new customers, I would say, yeah, they're, at some point they'd want to. If you're on a service that offers video and you never turn your video on and nobody knows what you look like, at some point they'd be like, "What's up?
Yeah,
this guy like the Elephant Man or something."
When I Googled why is Zoom so popular, the answer pretty much came back because it's easy to use.
Google said, because it's a fucking pandemic. Where have you been?
Yeah. Well, just the articles pretty much were saying it's like why iPhones are so popular. It's easy. The user experience is rather easy to figure out.
Yeah, I guess, but I've never had any beef with the UI on Skype. It's just when the core functionality is broken down, that's when it's caused me problems.
You can't give yourself a cool jungle background on Skype.
That's true.
I do have a Dunder Mifflin background for when I do video chats.
What does it look like? You're in the office?
Yeah, looks like I'm doing a talking head.
Yeah,
with
you're
the blinds.
doing like the confessional.
Yeah.
That is kind of great.
Oh, they have a couple. They have Michael Scott's office too.
Yeah. What a world.
Yeah. Who thought this is what we'd be talking about a year ago?
Yeah. That cheap green screen effect reminded me of. I watched Penn Jillette's movie Director's Cut the other day. It's the second time that I've seen it. And probably not familiar with this movie. It wasn't a wide release. It was a crowd-funded thing. And what they do is they film this whole, like, it's kind of a serial. It's like a parody of Seven almost, right? They're tracking down a copycat serial killer. These cops are, and this specialist gets called in from the FBI, and it's all just this, like, typical ham-fisted dialogue and plot points, but it's all like a decently shot movie, but it's so ridiculous that it's obviously parody. But then there's this added element to the movie where, it almost seems like at some point they realized that they didn't have enough with just like a tongue-in-cheek, cop drama. And the reason the movie's called Director's Cut is because Penn Jillette plays a guy named, I think, Harry Blount, something Blount. And he's just this kind of schlub who inherited some money. And he's a crowdfunder for this movie. And he pays a premium amount for certain access. And he gets to have, like, dinner with Missy Pyle, the star of the movie. And he gets access to, he has a camera that he bought, and he goes around backstage shooting footage. And he's presenting this movie like he stole the footage and recut his own version of it because he decided that, like, they were doing it all wrong. Mostly because he wasn't in the movie and Missy Pyle wasn't in love with him. And he ends up, like, not only stealing the footage and re-editing it and putting himself into the movie with these bad green screen effects. He also kidnaps Missy Pyle's character, the character of Missy Pyle, and has her reenact parts of the movie so that he can, fix it. And it's, like, really dark. There's all these scenes of her, it's
like a contest winner gone wrong.
Yeah. And so there's these great scenes of her, like, with hair all fucked up and badly applied makeup tied to a chair with a cop hat like sitting awkwardly on her head, trying to read lines from a cue card while crying.
Well, looking at the pictures, this is before all the weight loss, huh? It's a still fat Penn Jillette.
Yeah, it's kind of great because spoiler alert, like they find she eventually gets free and Penn Jillette's character goes to jail, and so you get fat Penn Jillette for most of the movie, and then there's a little epilogue scene where he's in jail and he's trying to do finish up his voiceover with allotted use of his computer time, and was filmed later after Penn Jillette lost all that weight, so you get skinny Penn.
Oh.
It's fun, though. I mean, I think you really got to like Penn Jillette. If you like Penn Jillette, you like his sense of humor, and you like the kind of darker sense of humor that Penn and Teller have, I think you dig it. And it has kind of it's like a Mystery Science Theater type of vibe to it because he's narrating everything. He's talking through the whole movie.
Yeah, this definitely looks like it's if you like campy horror, is that kind of what it's?
Yeah, it's got a lot of that. So they reenact famous killings. So there was the guy who shot up a McDonald's with an automatic rifle. The dude in the clock tower. They have this great shot, this reenactment shot of Dahmer, where it's just him. He opens up this old 50s looking fridge, and it's full of heads. And he just pulls one out that's on a plate and takes a bite out of the face of it.
Oh!
So there's a lot of great campy, over-the-top horror stuff too, and Penn Jillette's blasting the movie the whole time too. He's like, these are they're using a cheap effect here, and this is all fake, and this is all bad movie making that they do in these horror or action type films.
Herbert Blount aspires to replace the real director of a movie and make it his own by capturing the lead actress and inflicting as much horror upon her in his version. Cool. Harry Hamlin's in it.
Yeah, Harry Hamlin's great. Harry Hamlin's direction was be an asshole and vape constantly. And he's never without. They even at one point they use his use of a vaping device as a movie device, because there's evidence that's planted, DNA evidence, and they get his vaping device in order to DNA test it. And even in the scene where they present it to him and be like, yeah, well, we have your vape and we tested it for DNA, he's got another one in his hand. He's currently vaping it. There's no scene where he's not vaping up huge clouds. And it's just what cheap device can we use to drive home the idea that this guy is the asshole cop?
Yeah, this guy sucks.
This guy's a bad cop. Yeah. You can't smoke anymore, so we'll just have him vape like a maniac.
Smoking will get us an X rating, get us NC-17.
I'm surprised he wasn't two-fisting it at one point. If this was an older cop parody, he'd be smoking one cigarette and lighting another one while he was talking. Wow, so 80% with the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, 91% with the audience. Wow, I rarely look at movie ratings, and I almost went into Arnold Schwarzenegger there for a second. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I'm kind of surprised that just describing it, you get that it's not a typical film.
Only 5 critics, but still 80. But like I said, but 91% with the audience.
Although the audience was probably primarily the many, many crowdfunding backers that that funded that movie. It was a solely crowdfunded venture, and the end credits are this concert, this big party that they threw for everyone that could attend that also backed the movie. And
only 90 users rated it.
What's that?
There's only 90 user ratings.
Right, but I'm saying like there were probably like 2,000 or more people who crowdfunded this. So probably not all 90 of those user reviews are from people who crowdfunded it.
Yeah. I guess there's no way. Cinema.
There's no way to prove what I'm saying. It's pure conjecture.
Those are the critics. But, there are no featured audience reviews. So
I can see the critics getting on board with it.
Daniel
that's
Teese
the thing about.
Says it's a funny concept with some brilliant performances by Gillette and Pyle, but the joke goes on way too long.
Yeah, I can. That's exactly what I would figure the average moviegoer would think about it. Like, this would be a good skit for like SNL or something, not a full movie. I think it works as a full movie, and part of the reason why it does is because it's not as messed up as it sounds to watch. Being part film footage, part handy cam footage, part security cam footage. And as ridiculous as the movie that they're making, the copycat killer movie that they're making in the movie is, as ridiculous as that movie is, it's really entertaining. Adam Rifkin, who's the director of it, knows what he's doing. And, there's like a car chase scene, and there's action, and there's like all these dramatic shots that are totally typical of the genre, but they're also done really well. So it's still entertaining to watch. And then you get like not only a cool looking car chase scene, but you get a badly green screened in Penn Jillette behind the wheel of one of the cars pretending to drive it. And every time he's on camera in the actual movie, it's not footage they can use because he's staring right at the camera. Did you happen to check out that podcast with Jason Bateman and Will Arnett?
No, not yet.
Yeah, that conversation they have with Dax on that first episode is just great, because Dax tells the story about meeting Don Johnson and how him and Will Arnett met him for some, I don't remember what project they were working on. Maybe it was in that jail movie that they worked on. And Will Arnett was like hyped to meet Don Johnson, and Don Johnson couldn't give a shit about him. And Dax couldn't give a shit about Don Johnson, which made Don Johnson actually want to talk to Dax, which then made Will Arnett jealous.
Who cares? It's Don Johnson.
Yeah, right? But he says, he gives some advice to Dax. That's great. He tells him, I was a hit with the audience on Miami Vice. Once an episode, you just zoom the lens. You just, not zoom, what would he call it?
Close up? No,
he would literally look right down the barrel of the camera.
Oh, yeah. There's a term for it. They said it on the Scrubs podcast. It's because you're not supposed to do it when you're an extra. Yeah, it's where you acknowledge a camera. I forget what the term is.
Right. I wish I could remember it, because he was like
spiking.
Yeah. You spike the lens. You just zoom it real quick and boom, like right down the barrel. He says, just for a second, once an episode, he would do that.
And that's why people liked him.
Yeah, that's why you would connect with the audience at home.
Whatever works for you, Donnie. I don't know about him.
Don Johnson ain't bad.
He played Crockett.
He seems like
he's got a big crank. He boned Barbra Streisand. It was pretty much the depth of my Don Johnson knowledge.
He was in some Southern noir. Was it Palmetto, the movie with Woody Harrelson?
He was in something.
I think he was in Palmetto
recently.
And he was in, he's been in something. Oh, he was in Watchmen, and he was really good in Watchmen, in the HBO series. he's had a bit of a resurgence. He's not a bad actor. I just don't think he's not dynamic. He's like a guy who you find the right role for him and he can do it. I've never seen him play anything other than kind of stoic cop dude.
Hey, he sang this hit. Remember, too, he was a singer.
Turn it up a little bit. I can barely hear it. I remember him doing a song, but
Hey, you put it to Babs. You put out an album.
You can give it away. Your money don't mean much to me.
Oh, wow.
This was his hit. When the hook comes, you'll remember it. It'll remind you of being in Kmart buying some pants.
Not a very dynamic singer either.
Come on, this is...
Wow.
Some 80s montage is coming to mind right now. You don't know which one, but one of them is.
Yeah, I do remember hearing that.
I'm picturing someone right...
Bryan Adams ripoff.
A pop collar on a denim jacket.
Pulling up on a Kawasaki.
Yeah, right.
Oh, Knives Out. Of course. He was really good in Knives Out. Have you seen Knives Out?
I have not. I keep hearing it's
totally worth it. Totally engaging. Great performances. All of the family. Everyone in that family does this great job of playing various degrees of racist. It's kind of great, because they all have differing. They're like, some of them are liberal and some of them are conservative, but none of them can remember the country that their caretaker for their father actually comes from. Right? And it's not really lampshaded. It's just in different scenes. Like, one of them will talk about her, working her ass off to get out of Venezuela, and then in the next scene, someone's like, hey, look, she swam over here from Costa Rica. Like, I guess she's here now. More power to her.
I'm more concerned with what he's doing to this song. According to
what is that?
YouTube Music, this is his biggest song.
This doesn't sound familiar. I can barely hear it. Whoa. Easy there. Falsetto's not your register, Don. But still better than Bruce Willis.
That's true.
And he's not playing any harmonica as far as I know.
Not yet. Give him time.
Tin Cup. That was his big movie.
Tin Cup?
Yeah, dude, that was big. In 96?
Let's say for like a year in the mid-90s, maybe. I don't recall it being that big of a movie.
Seems like it was.
Wasn't he in it with Costner? He couldn't have been the star of that movie. I know Rene Russo was in it.
Oh, that's right. That was Costner. It was the star of it. Okay, so I'm thinking of something different. You're right. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Yeah.
I had forgotten that movie exists.
Most people have. Apparently there was a From Dusk Till Dawn TV series, and he was in it.
Oh, yeah?
He was in Django Unchained.
Yep. Played a racist in that. Played a racist in Watchmen.
Apparently he was in Eastbound and Down.
I don't immediately recall him in that, but...
He played Eduardo Sanchez.
Looking at his film credits on IMDb, 1987, he gets a credit for his video for Heartbeat.
The
And
fine
he plays
song we just listened
the
to.
documentary filmmaker. So, how do you... You're an actor who recorded a pop song, and in the video, you're like, I want to be a documentary filmmaker.
Like, I'm waiting to see something. Like, why are we supposed to think this guy is cool? Like, what brought him?
What, Don Johnson? Why he's cool?
Yeah, other than Miami Vice. How do you get to Miami Vice? I'm looking at his previous Miami Vice credits, and I'm going,
I think it was, out of nowhere. He's got previous credits, but not for anything that I know.
Did episode Kung Fu?
Those credits go all the way back to the start of the 70s.
Yes, 1970. The Magic Garden of Stanley Sweetheart is his first acting credit. Good Lord. What could that even be?
I don't know. He has a ton of TV credits for decades. So, I guess he was just one of those actors at the time that just did the rounds. Because there were a lot more of those back in the day. Back when I think now we just want to believe that TV shows are real. And when people start popping up, Phyllis Diller pops up in your TV show, you're like, you just shattered the illusion.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd pop in and say hi.
Yeah, the days of the guest star are long gone.
Right. So there was much more acceptance of, you had actors that were like good utility actors, and they would just pop up on everything. And they weren't just extras. These were people that, they were extras, but they had lines. They weren't just background people. So maybe he's just one of those people.
Hey, well, he's been working for 50 years, so good for him.
Yeah, we just blasted a decades-long career, and the guy's got more money than we'll ever know in our lives. So.
It's true.
Who's the joke on?
Exactly. He was on 2 TV shows that were on for 5 years. So it means he got syndication money twice.
That's true. I bet you he made way more money off of Nash Bridges than he did off of Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Because that shit, that was like on TNT constantly.
They're about to make, according to top his IMDb, there's a Nash Bridges TV movie in pre-production.
Get the fuck out.
Let's bring it back. Wasn't Cheech on that show with him? Like, wasn't that Cheech's attempt at a straight acting gig? He was on Nash Bridges with him?
I think he was pretty successful. I wouldn't even call it I wasn't a fan of the show, but...
Like, wasn't that also the point at a time where Cheech was shunning the Cheech and Chong because he wanted to be known for other shit? But what I think is funny is, like, fast forward 10 years, he's like, nope, we're going to make money off this shit again. Weed's popular.
Well, yeah, because I think Cheech is just the better businessman between the two of them. Tommy Chong was serving jail time for selling bongs online, and he's like, why the fuck would I want to go that route?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Cheech in the photo with him on the Nash Bridges logo. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was his partner. From what I can tell, from what little I know about the show. I don't actually, I say partner, but I don't even know that he was a cop. Well, what was he?
Don Johnson confirms Cheech Marin will return for Nash Bridges revival.
I think Don Johnson's aging better than Cheech is.
Well, I hate to be the guy that's saying this. Aren't they both at the age where should we be making promises? Like, I would like Cheech to join me for the Nash Bridges revival. But if Don Johnson worked for 50 years, he's got to be pushing 70. Yeah, he's 70 years old. He'll be 71 this year.
He looked great in Watchmen.
Cheech Marin just turned 74.
I think in Knives Out, he was playing a guy who was probably supposed to be 60 at the most, I would think.
Well, yeah. I mean, Don looks like he's spraying for the hair plugs.
Because I don't even think he's not even the oldest child in the family. I think that's... well, no, maybe not. Michael Shannon just looks older, I think. But it's probably the cane that he has in the movie. Oh, that's right. No, Don Johnson's character isn't one of the kids. He marries into the family. He marries, what's her name from Halloween?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, that one.
He's like Tom on Succession. He married in.
Yeah.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net. ChristopherMedia.net. The Weedsman Podcast.
Man, talk about a show I can't wait to see the next season of.
Oh, it's about that time of year. Let's go. Oh my God, we can't watch it. HBO Go is dead. So is HBO Now. And Roku doesn't fucking support HBO Max yet.
What a mess.
Yeah. Well, them and the Peacock, you're both going to fail. We tried to watch the Peacock yesterday. Can't even find it. And it's another thing Roku doesn't support.
Yeah.
It's empty and NBC. Oh, just go to thepeacock.com. No, you still don't get it, do you, NBC? It's not how streaming works. It's not about where they can get it. It's about availability.
Right. Well, you can have. I think it might cost you $5 a month. It might not. But there's the box that they can send you, the streaming box. And you can watch it through that. You hook it up to, just like any other device.
I mean, the stream box like I already have?
Right, yeah, exactly. And that doesn't even accept everything. So I have that device hooked up, and I also have my Chromecast hooked up. Because I can't get, if CW puts a lot of its shows for free on the app, so I can watch Penn and Teller's show, Fool Us.
Yeah, Chromecast, another thing that's not supported by the Peacock, or I believe HBO Max.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought.
No, never mind. It was Fire Stick. Fire Stick.
Okay.
It was something else that I was like, really? You don't support that either? Like, are you aware of what year it is?
Yeah, Chromecast is pretty universally accepted because Google does. I mean, sure, they're streaming competition, but not in the same way. Like they tried to. Make YouTube Red a whole thing and YouTube Originals. They've kind of given up on that. The Karate Kid show is going to Hulu or somebody, and I think they might still offer their over the top bundle, but it's not really worth it. Now you can get the same thing from like Sling or somebody else for half the price.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I won't be able to watch Succession until HBO gets their fucking shit together. I don't understand. How do you not support Roku and Amazon Fire Stick?
They got a lot of shit together. They actually, I was reading, they went through some reorganization. There was a couple pretty big execs, from what I remember reading in the article, that were fired.
Good.
And yeah, part of it is to get everything in line. It's all this Warner Brothers, everything under that umbrella is just so fragmented. And they've slowly been taking shows away from the DC Universe app, and everyone kind of sees the writing on the wall now. The newest is actually talk about them just folding DC Universe into HBO Max.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, someone's got to compete with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They got all the MCU. Someone's got to have the DC.
If you're going to still advertise a product of $15 versus $8 that Disney has for their competing product, you better make sure that it's really packed full of everything that you can throw at it.
And I still don't understand why there's like NBC shows on HBO Max, and that's what they're like hanging their hat on. Hey, you can watch Friends on HBO Max. Why? Was that on NBC?
And on the Peacock.
Yeah. Yeah, like
I mean, I know a lot of this. There's long-term contracts that they sign into. You know, I can watch 30 Rock on Peacock. I can watch it on Amazon. Might even be on HBO Max.
Oh, hey, speaking of what, did you watch that 30 Rock reunion?
No, I meant to. I was thinking about it this weekend.
The internet did not sell it well to me. I did not. Everything I've read is just as garbage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I read any positive reviews on it.
I think it's like anything that you're a fan of, you know, it's like I'm going to be interested in seeing if there's something else, if there's another story they have to tell or something, you know, fun idea that they have. But selling it as an upfront,
yeah,
it really is kind of shitty. It's like, okay, so you didn't you didn't get back together because you had a good idea for a new story or something clever that you could do with this. You got back together to
make a commercial.
Advertisers why NBC used to be really huge.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, well, I remember when we initially talked about it, to me, the concept didn't even set me on fire. I'm like, wait, so they're going to renew 30 Rock to be a commercial for all of their new shows.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's just a way to say, remember when we made stuff that you liked watching?
The Parks and Rec reunion had a point. Right. Like, it had a story to it. Like, this was a commercial. Like, and I understand what they were. I actually understand what they were trying to do. But like, it sounded like a bunch of high people came up with at fucking like 1:30 in the morning. Right. Like, yeah, it sounds like a great idea.
I mean, if you're going to do something like that and you want to, 30 Rock and Tina Fey would be the perfect choice if what you want to do is kind of hang a hat on your advertising. You know, they did that often with product placement in their in their show. You know, the Snapple jokes. And, well, I mean...
Yeah, I remember the one where
the whole point of the show was to lampoon the mixture of art and commerce, the business side versus the artistic side, and what happens when the business side gets involved.
I mean, too, and I remember one of the best ones was when they were just dropping all the pretense, and she ended the joke with, "Can we have our money now?"
Right, she looks right at the camera.
Yeah. But, yeah,
it's like... One of my favorite episode, probably, of Northern Exposure is when they build up to this huge scene where there's supposed to be an old-fashioned guns at dawn duel between two characters. One of them visiting from Russia, and you know the doctor, the local doctor from New York, offends him in some way, and now there's going to be a duel, and everyone's like, "Well, Joel, you got to do it. You know, it's tradition." And he's like, this is absolutely insane. And it gets to the point where they're, you know, about to count off the paces, you know, doing the traditional back-to-back and holding the gun up in the air. And the character of Joel just looks in the camera and he's like, everyone, stop. What are we doing? Like, we have no ending to this. Everyone at home watching this knows that we're not just going to kill one of these characters, and that's not the show that they're watching. And so they end up just having a party. It ends like Caddyshack, you know, hey, we're going to get laid.
Hey, we're all going to get laid.
So yeah, 30 Rock, I can see them being a good choice if that's what they're aiming to do. But to have that be the whole content, I don't know. And again, I'm judging. I haven't even seen it. I don't even know. It could be, maybe it's really funny and it's just the same old 30 Rock stuff that now everybody is just finding offensive.
Maybe. Everything I read just said a lot of the jokes were flat. It just wasn't funny. It essentially... It ended up being more about the other shows and not about, like, it's like from what I read, like the 30 Rock stuff was there just as filler.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't find a host, so we'll put 30 Rock in between the middle of all this.
Okay, now I'm really not interested.
Yeah, just... Trust me, I looked and looked for positive stuff about it, and it just, I mean, trust me, the internet shits on everything, but I mean, generally there's always, at least, if something's good, there will be a section of the internet where you will find people saying good, but not with this, no. You know, even all the usual suspects that love everything were like, yeah, don't waste your time.
Yeah.
The one thing I read that the bright spot about it was Jane Krakowski, who apparently they said that how she played, you know, her character again, how she played the lines that were written for her were kind of played into the satire of it more.
Okay.
But that was about that was like maybe the half compliment I read on the internet. That's the closest thing to something good I read on the internet about it. And it didn't sell me on it.
Dare say, Krakowski is probably the strongest comedic actor on that show.
Yeah.
Because she was the one who was asked to do some of the most ridiculous stuff. I mean, like, Tracy Jordan, the character of Tracy Jordan was all structured around being absolutely ridiculous. But the things that Jenna Maroney was asked to do, you know, namely, well, there's the blackface episode for one.
She had a lot of her scenes cut in the last few months.
Yeah. But
she did it more than once.
Yeah.
Did they get rid of the episode with Tracy and Toofer? Where they made him right to get? They didn't cut that one.
No, because I watched that one on Amazon recently. That's the one where he's
hey, you might as well spray me down with the fire hose.
Yeah. That's when he gets the idea to make the movie about Thomas Jefferson, where he plays all the roles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in there.
No, not that one. No, the one where they had to write a sketch together, and Tracy uses the N-word, and Toofer files a complaint on him, and then Toofer goes to try and say it and puts the hard R in it, and Tracy's like, whoa, you can't say that.
Yeah.
And then to write the sketch together, Tracy straight up asked him, like, are you black?
Yeah. Yes.
Like, they left that episode?
Yeah. Yep, that's in there.
Interesting to... whatever. It's a weed show. Keep it light.
There's a new Home Depot now open on Maurice Avenue in Maspeth. And as home improvement projects go, this is a big one. Use the product locator on our app for an in-store map to find what you need fast. And check out our new pickup lockers. They make online shopping a breeze. Of course, one thing's not new, our everyday low prices. The Home Depot, now open near Maurice Avenue and Long Island Expressway in Maspeth. And always open at homedepot.com. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
It's easy to find flooring online, but imagining those floors on your floor, a bit trickier. So Lumber Liquidators made Picture It, which adds our floors to a photo of your space. Just point, snap, and choose a floor. It's great if you're looking for new floors. Also, still fun if you're not. Try Picture It, only at llflooring.com. These are the floors homes are built on. Get free samples of your favorite floors sent to your home. Visit llflooring.com to order today.
The Weedsman Podcast. ChristopherMedia.net.